Hi, this is E.T., and these are Mario Puzo and Francis Ford Coppola, creators respectively of the Godfather novel and films, which together retain quite a long shelf life since the 1970s. And even today, people remember lines from the book and the movies, like keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. Or what about this? He's swimming with the fishes. Or an offer he cannot refuse. Columnist Sam Francis maintained Puzo's book is no less a classic than Is Gone with the Wind, although not for its literary qualities. And this is because the book and films, and I'm not including part 3, offer themes, often upsetting themes, that any first world resident, like here in the U.S., will understand, if only in the subconscious. The most obvious theme is the conflict between two forms of societies, one represented by Familia Corleone, the other represented by the outside society. The German sociologist Ferdinand Tönnies identified the first, a united, closed family structure, as Gemeinschaft. The second he called, and he's referring to the society at large, at Gesellschaft. Now the first, represented by the extended Corleone family, is structured, hierarchical, somewhat tribal, certainly neo-feudal, and it demands extreme deference to someone like the Don, is motivated by loyalty, honor, friendship, while Gesellschaft society, represented in the book and films, is the American society at large, and it's symbolized by modern business and the labyrinth of legal moral relations that are alien to the Gemeinschaft society. The Gesellschaft society is predicated not on any extended family, neighborhood, friends, not friendship, not loyalty. It's predicated on cold calculations and rational behavior. This greater modern society, the one that you and I live in, dominated by the modern state, is impersonal, legalistic, bureaucratic. One of several examples demonstrating the differences between Gemeinschaft and Gesellschaft organizations is found in Coppola's Godfather 2, where a young Don Corleone, played by Robert De Niro, stops one Roberto. He's an owner of a neighborhood apartment building, and he's evicting an old woman from her apartment, ostensibly because she has a dog. Well, the young Don explains she's an old widow with very little money. She'll be thrown onto the streets. And he places, the Don does, 6 months' rent of money into Roberto's hands. And he asks that she keep the dog. And he asks Roberto to show compassion and says that, despite Roberto being a Calabrese and not a Sicilian, he says, come on, we're both paisano. Roberto, obviously more concerned with making money than learning about people in his neighborhood, at first rebuffs and even insults the Don. And he explains that he's already rented to a family who pays more money. But he does take the Don's money. Then, before he leaves, the Don tells Roberto, ask about me in the neighborhood, which later Roberto did. And he came groveling back to apologize to the Don and return the money and reduce the rent. He is an example of pure Gesellschaft. People who saw this scene, maybe you, probably agree, maybe on an unconscious level, with Don Corleone's offer, and agree despite our system's operative rules that say a man can do whatever he wishes with his property, even throw old women onto the streets. In other words, there's something very good when a ruler, committed to the welfare of his subjects, acts on their behalf and not according to the greater world's idea of self-interest, greed, and legalities. So what E.T. is suggesting is the viewers probably sympathized with Gemeinschaft And the viewers and readers probably found justification in punishments vested out to, it's in the second movie, but very first in that movie, vested out to the Don Fanucci. He was shot to death by a young Don Corleone. And how about the movie producer Jack Waltz? He was a very crude, power-hungry film producer, and he woke up in bed with his prize horse's head under the covers. Now, that was hard to watch, but a viewer or reader could find some justification. And equally, if not morally justifiable, at least appearing so, were young Michael Corleone's revenge killings, all as Michael understood it in the interest of the family. For example, before he was Don, Michael put bullets into both Sollozzo and the Irish police captain, McCluskey. And then there was the murder of Moe Greene, the Jewish mobster. He was based on Bugsy Siegel, who created Las Vegas. Then there was the blackmailing of a corrupt WASP U.S. Senator named Pat Geary, though it did demand the killing of a prostitute. And the viewer or reader might have agreed, at least to be sympathetic to, the murder of Hyman Roth, who was based on mobster Meyer Lansky. All of these men represented the greater outside Gesellschaft society, corrupt, without honor, without loyalties. Think of Roth's explanation to Michael Corleone regarding the murder of Moe Greene. Remember, Moe Greene is Roth's good friend, and Roth knows the murder was commissioned by Michael Corleone. But yet all Roth would say to Michael is, I never asked who gave the order because this is the business we've chosen. That is pure Gesellschaft. Roth's best pal, Moe Greene, takes a bullet in the eye, and Roth knew it was on orders of Michael Corleone, yet he does nothing because it's just business. But the family's Gemeinschaft solidarity is itself subject to the lure of the outside, the Gesellschaft, the society outside that worships the cash nexus, that seduces, even to the point of causing family members to commit treason. Examples? Pantagelli. He's under the protection of the FBI. He's about to testify to Congress about family crimes. He slits his wrist at Don Michael's request after a promise that his family will be cared for. Even Michael's brother Fredo, who gives enough information to Johnny Ola to cause a near hit on Michael in his own home. Fredo will explain his reason for the treachery with these words, and I'm quoting Fredo. He said there was something in it for me. And Michael had to kill his own brother-in-law for selling out the family in order to get revenge over Sonny Corleone. Even the reliable Tessio sold out. You may remember this scene. He's about to be taken away to be killed by Michael's men. And Tessio says, and I'm quoting, tell Mike it was only business. I always liked him. The Gemeinschaft and Gesellschaft theme of the Godfather novel and films should now be obvious, but there exists another theme right below the surface that E.T. will cover in part 2. Did you like the video? Hit the like icon. Do share it and do subscribe. Thank you.